Before I went back to Georgetown, I was just a small-town banker. My father instilled a lot of advice in me. When you're sitting there across the desk from the customer, in that moment, that's the most important thing in their entire world. It's our responsibility to develop those special relationships. When I received the packet from Georgetown, I pulled it open and I saw the letter of acceptance. And there was a second letter behind it. It was a scholarship, and I had not been expecting that. And I knew really from that moment that I'd be going to Georgetown and that it would be extremely important for me to pay that back someday. So my scholarship letter had a requirement that for as long as I was at the business school, I would be a graduate assistant to Professor Bill Drums.
I really enjoyed having him work on our projects, and it felt a lot more like a colleague relationship than a teacher-student relationship.
Bill and I formed a great duo. I had a lot of fun working with him, and I learned a lot.
I was pretty certain he was going to be a success at whatever he turned his hand to once he left Georgetown, and of course he has been.
At PIMCO, we aspire to be one of the preeminent investment management firms in the entire world, and I think we're defined by an intense focus on our clients and by a very performance-oriented culture.
As a leader, what makes him strong is he really listens. So on a comparative basis, look at the basis there. I mean, it's not even back up. So when he goes into a situation, he's always trying to find out how people are approaching it, why they're approaching it that way.
Description, project plan, timeline, steps.
Unlike a lot of people, he doesn't assume that he has some magical ability to accomplish something that someone else in his role didn't before. Much of who he is and the values that he holds owes to his upbringing in the Midwest.
Finance has long been the family business. In 1903, my great-grandfather opened a small community bank in central Missouri, and that's still in the family today.
Well, in the investment business, modesty doesn't usually pay off, but it does seem to in his case. He and Kelly are both very interested in philanthropy.
When the new business school was being built, Kelly and I saw a naming opportunity on an office. We didn't name it for ourselves, though. We thought it would only be appropriate that it be named for Professor Bill Drums and that he would actually occupy that office.
There's a kind of virtuous cycle. Now Jay's one of the people who's helping us in a variety of ways to help the students who are here now. And that's all cemented by that sort of mentor relationship that got developed 30 years ago.
More recently, the opportunity to provide a leadership gift to the endowed chair in honor of Bill and his retirement. We stepped up in that regard as well.
Jay's receiving this award because he represents the best of what we try to produce here at Georgetown, which is principal leaders with a global mindset who are truly in service to business and society.
Jay is a good example of the opportunities we have to expand the Wall Street Alliance beyond the New York community, and to have an honoree this year who's from the West Coast is a good harbinger of things to come.
From the time that I arrived on campus, it became clear to me that the connection between Georgetown and Wall Street was a very tight bond. And that, of course, is in large part due to the Wall Street Alliance, the great work that people have done over the years to build those networks, and of course the money that's been given to provide scholarships to kids to come to Georgetown.